What's going on, guys? Your boy Maze here. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing the complete Skoll Hati guide. Now that we have Nidhogg out and Skoll Hati is farmable, I wanted to do a video here covering the pretty much everything you need to know about Skoll Hati, guys. I'm going to be showing you guys a pre-recorded run I already have. I'm going to be showing you guys the best passives, best team comps you can run, and pretty much everything you need to know about the fight, as we're going to be going through every single floor, explaining each phase, explaining the passes, all of that, man. So you guys should know everything about Skoll Hati by the end of this video. So before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to 35,000 subscribers. If you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel already, definitely make sure to hit it and turn on post notifications as well if you want to see more videos like this where I do in-depth guides or just anything along these lines. So yeah, with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's discuss the first thing being team comps. So I wanted to do a team comp, a strategy build here to kind of explain to you guys how do you actually do it. So first things first is you're gonna need two characters in these two slots here, and then these two characters can be interchangeable. So let's just talk about it, okay? So I made a video already explaining like the best team comps in my opinion for Skoll Hati. So you know, you can watch that video as well, but pretty much in this video we'll kind of talk about and explain what I'm kind of going for in terms of the best team comps and what I think is good, right? So what you want to have for sure is you want to have Thonar. Thonar is going to be the character that you're going to need, especially with her Holy Relic too. But now that her Holy Relic mats are being given out for free, you should be able to actually get her full Holy Relic and, you know, do Skoll Hati a lot easier. So if you guys don't know, her Holy Relic is going to increase both allies' HP related stats by 10% up to 4 times and fills allies' ultimate move gauge by 1 orb whenever the hero uses a skill in Skoll Hati Demonic Beast Battle, which is very, very good. Alongside the fact that her passive is already a Demonic Beast Battle, Skoll Hati exclusive thing where, you know, her ultimate move gets increased, ally single target damage increased by 30%, 40% attack related stats. Like, it's really, really good. So Thonar is going to be the main character you're going to bring on Skoll Hati, as she's going to be the character you need to actually farm the fight and clear very, very easily. The next thing you're going to need on Skoll Hati is going to be an Ignite blocker or Ignite benefiter. So we have two categories, okay? The Ignite blockers being Freyr and Green Melasula. So you have these two characters as your options for Ignite blockers. And then in terms of your Ignite benefiter, you have Scotty, because Scotty is the one character that can lower the enemy's attack and defense for the amount of debuff she gets on herself. So this is like just an example of a character you can run, right? So what I like to do though, I think Freyr is a safe bet regardless. So let's actually get Freyr here. So we put Freyr on the teams because he's going to be the main character that was released with Skoll Hati, so he is meant for it. And then we have Thonar. So now our last two slots are going to be dependent on what you feel like your team needs in terms of either damage, heals, pretty much anything you really need, right? So let's talk about it. So first things first, let's get a damage dealer. So Ultimate Escanor, good example. He's going to be a very, very good damage dealer. If you have Ultimate Escanor, he's going to be dealing more past the damage cap because he has the single target where he does 30% extra damage, and that's going to be a really strong ability, and Ultimate Escanor is going to be a very solid slot. So Ultimate Escanor, boom, you have our DPS. We have Freyr, Ultimate Escanor, and Thonar. So the one thing I noticed with this team automatically is that we do not have a healing type character. So if we need to bring a healer, we're going to have to either bring a damage healer like Scotty or Brunhild, or we're going to have to bring a Green Elizabeth healer because, you know, we don't really have options here. You know what I mean? We got to run Scotty. So let's put Scotty on the team. I think Scotty's going to be good because you can run Scotty. Even if you have Freyr on the team already, you can run Scotty together with Freyr. Like, it doesn't matter if you're losing it on the Ignite part. The fact that she can still lower the attack and defense of the enemy even with her own debuffs is going to be good enough. Right, so this is just an example of a team right here. Another thing you could do, right, let's say you pick like Purgatory Melee as your damage dealer, right? So you have Freyr, Thonar, Purgatory Melee. Your healer could be like, you know, Green Elizabeth, let's say. You know, we could do like Elizabeth. Like, let's say you just don't want, you know, you feel like your Purgatory Melee got all the damage covered, especially with Freyr. Like, Freyr and your Purgatory Melee can do all the damage. Elizabeth can give you heals and ult push you, right? She's great. So she's going to be another character you could run. Let's think of another team. Oh, we can do the Bond Patience team. Bond Patience team. That's another team people love to run. That's a really good comp as well. So Bond, and then you bring Chad King. Like, King's gonna be a really good option as well. So like team comps like this, especially if you have like King Holy Relic, like this is gonna be a very consistent team. As long as you have a King card every single turn. But yeah, this is another team comp you guys can run as well. But pretty much you guys get the gist, right? You have Thonar always being your character for the slot. You have Freyr here, Malasula or Scotty, interchangeable, right? It can be any of them, right? And then you have a healer, either a healer, damage dealer, or an actual healer, right? So you could have like a Green Elizabeth as an actual healer. You could have like Brunhild here as a, you know, a damage healer, because she has heal on the ultimate, right, on this card. So you can run Brunhild on the team, and then you could run your main DPS, which is going to be like a you know, an ultimate Escanor, a Purgatory Meliodas, a Trader Meliodas, Chad King. There's multiple DPS characters you can run on the fight, and pretty much any character that deals a lot, like Freya. I just almost forgot, like she's really good on this. Like there's so many damage dealers you can run on the fight now, guys, that there's a lot of options. So I hope this part of the video is helpful in terms of explaining like what characters you can run and what, like, you know, positioning for the character. So like Thonar here, Freya can be here, or you can be here. It really doesn't matter. As long as Thonar is here, that's fine, and you always have the red Tarmiel link on her, you're gonna be safe. So yeah, and then yeah, pretty much you got your healer, damage dealer, or just permanent healer, and then you got your other damage dealer. So hopefully this part of the video is helpful, guys. The next thing we want to talk about, guys, for the guide here is going to be the card set. So you definitely want to have this card set before actually attempting to farm Skoll and Hati. This card set right here is going to be a basic stat increase level 5 at level 5, right? In Demonic Beast Battle, increase allies basic stats by 10% outright, okay? So you get 10% basic stats, done. And when the ultimate move gauge has 5 or more orbs, removes and becomes immune to freeze. So that's going to be a very good part of the you know, the card set right there, because in Skoll and Hati you get frozen multiple times throughout the fight. If you do not have max gauge, you're going to get frozen, but if you have max gauge now, you can kind of manipulate if you're going to be getting frozen or not. Right, you're definitely going to be able to manipulate that. And also, alongside the fact that Thonar's Holy Relic increases your gauge every time she uses a skill, is going to be very, very beneficial, so that no one is getting frozen on the fight, as you're going to be having maximum ultimate move gauge. So hopefully that is also helpful right there. That is going to be the artifact card set you want to be running on this fight. If you guys are wondering in terms of where to actually get the cards, the Deer card is going to be from the Deer. This is going to be from the World Tree Exchange Shop right here. This card right here. Trader Melee card is going to be from PvP. I think this is from I think this is either from one of the story chapters, or this is from a what's it called, a Tower of Trials. So it could be either or. And then I know this Escanor card is from the shop. You can buy it for gold, but you might also be able to get it through like you know, like card packs and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be the artifact card set, guys, and this is going to be a must-have in terms of farming for Skoll and Hati. Alright, guys, now that we're done explaining the teams and the best card set for the fight, now let's actually hop into the passives of the fight and talk about best passives. So let's go through floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3, and I'm going to be explaining the best passives for each of the floors. So in terms of farming, you're really not going to be worrying about most of the passives, as you're going to be clearing fairly quickly. But if I was to pick the best passive versus the okay passive and then the worst passive, this is how it's going to be. The best passive is going to be the crit damage increase passive. This is going to be increasing the hero's crit damage by 10% for each orb removed from the hero's ultimate move gauge, limit 10 times, right? So pretty much if you don't take his gauge, then you're fine. If you don't take his gauge, you're fine. If you take his gauge, then he's going to do a little bit more crit damage, but it's negligible, bro. It's negligible. Versus a passive like this, which is really, really bad, which just straight up decreases your crit resistance and crit defense, just the Death Pierce passive against you, right? This passive is not good at all, and I would say this is either the worst one or the second worst one, which we'll talk about this one too, but I think this one's the best one so far. This one's really bad. Let's talk about this one now. Defense related stat decrease. When the enemy takes critical strike damage from the hero's attack, an effect will be applied on the enemy which decreases defense related by 40% for 2 turns. So if they are hitting you with this you know, passive and they crit you a lot, then this is going to be really bad, because you're taking 40% more defense related damage, which is really, really bad. But if you're running a character like Scotty and she could use the extra debuff to kind of benefit, then it's not the worst thing in the world, right? It's not the worst thing in the world. This can be an okay passive. So in terms of the ranking here, I would say this is going to be the #1 best passive you can get on floor 1. This is going to be the #2 passive, because it's, you know, only when you're getting crit you get the detriment. And then this one is just going to be an outright Death Pierce passive against you. So you're losing crit resistance and crit defense. You're just taking guaranteed extra damage. So that's going to be the ranking for passives right there. Moving on to floor 2 right here, guys, we have the next 3 passives here. And I would say the best passive you can actually actually get on this phase is going to be the weakness identification, which is going to be increasing the hero's damage dealt by 20% when attacking debuffed enemies. So the reason why this is good is because 20% is the max. Okay, 20% is the max. It really depends for like the type of team you're running. If you're running like a Freyr team, then this passive might be better. Right, this passive might be better, but this one I think is good because it's just damage dealt. Attack, when you give the boss attack, is like really bad because obviously he's going to deal a lot more damage. Like debuff resonance is kind of annoying. If you are running Freyr, this one might be better though because you're going to be blocking ignite, so not a lot of debuffs are going to be on your team in the first place, so the attack of the boss won't be as crazy. But this one is a overall, I would say, the number 1 overall, and this one's going to be the overall number 2, unless you're running like, you know, like your Freyr, this would be number 1, but either or, right? And then this one right here is the worst passive you can get because it's going to deal 40% additional damage when the hero attacks an enemy with lower attack. So obviously you're probably going to have lower attack a lot of the time, especially if they're attack lowering you. So this passive can be really, really bad. 40% additional damage is not like that's just not fair. I know when you're running the King Patience team or the Bond Patience team, this passive you cannot get at all, because if you get this passive, you auto lose because the boss is already gonna have more attack than you on the turn 1, breaking your shield and cucking your bond. So I would say, I mean, unless you have like King Holy Relic, maybe you'd be okay. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, this is the best passive. This could be the best passive if you're running Freyr. If not, this is the best passive overall. So number 2, number 3, 1, 2, 3, that's going to be the ranking in terms of the passives that you want. You want to get weakness identification, or then debuff resonance, and then you don't want to get scorn for the weak. So that's going to be floor 2. In terms of floor 3 here, it really doesn't matter which passive you get on floor 3 because at this point you're going to be trying to clear for the fight anyway. Because this is floor 3, phase 3. It's the last phase of the fight anyway, right? But if I had to say which one was the best passive here, I would say that either the damage taken increase or the stat decrease one can be the best passive. It depends on the team you're running. If you're running Scotty on your team, she's always going to get hit with this taunt right here, and these stats decrease. And this is really good because you know, when Scotty gets hit with this, the rest of your team is able to do damage, and there's no detriment to the rest of your team. Right? The rest of your team is going to be free, but she's going to be lowered on her attack, and you know, she's going to be having a taunt on her as well. So yeah, I'd say Scotty definitely is the character that gets hit with this a lot though, especially if you're running HP defense. If you have her Holy Relic, she will get hit with this 99% of the time. So if you're running like a team with Scotty, then that passive is actually not bad, because then you have ultimates on like Freyr, Ultimate Escanor, whoever else you're running, and they're gonna deal enough damage anyway to kind of push you through that last phase of the fight. This passive is okay as well, because it's just an overall, like, you take an extra 10% damage dealt, which can be kind of bad. But also, if you're like, you know, if you have Freyr, then you should be safe, especially if you have like Scotty lowering the attack and defense too. Like, you're pretty much okay with this passive. I'd say this used to be the best passive, but this one can be arguable now depending on the team comp you're running. This one is really good though, and then this one is okay passive as well. I think there's no like L passive really on floor 3. Any of the passives you get is like okay, but if I had to rank them, I'd say it's probably going to be this one overall is the number 1, this one is probably the number 2, and then this one's probably number 3, because this one is really bad, especially if you're running like crit resistance gear on your Donar and then she gets hit with this. This is really bad. Guaranteed crit the lowest percentage of HP, which is really, really bad. So yeah, that's what I'd say in terms of the passives right there, guys, for Skoll Hati. That's going to be the passive rundown. That's going to be the team comp rundown. That's going to be the artifact card set rundown. Now we're going to be hopping into the actual fight, and I'm going to be explaining the mechanics of the fight. So I'm going to show you guys the pre-recorded gameplay I have here, and then we're going to kind of talk over the video, and we'll talk about it. Alright guys, so here is going to be the clip of the team that's going to be able to clear Skoll Hati right here just for the video. So this is the team that I was actually using. I was using Red Donar, Red Scotty, Ultimate Escanor, and then Freyr. So the reason why we are running this comp right here, which I will show you guys, we will see the gear and everything, so you guys can see it. So attack resistance, HP defense Scotty, attack defense Escanor, which I forgot to actually change his gear. So that's my mistake. I should have been running attack crit damage, but it's okay. It didn't really change much. But yeah. And then triple defense Tarmiel, you know. And then I also show like the crit resistance rolls and stuff, and then yeah, so that's pretty much that. We do also have the basic stat card set, which you obviously need on Skoll Hati, which we talked about earlier in the video. And then yeah, we hop in. So I actually did not notice that attack defense on Escanor, but you know, it is okay. Yeah, so pretty much the whole point of running this team right here, and which I explained earlier in the team comp section, is that Scotty is going to be lowering the attack and defense of the enemy, and then Freyr is actually going to be blocking Ignite so that we do not get screwed over by the Ignite damage. So Scotty's going to be lowering attack and defense, and we're going to be blocking Ignites completely, so we have, you know, kind of like a double thing right there. Like, you know, people usually like don't run Scotty with Freyr, but it's not a bad comp at all. It really is not, right? You get the extra damage dealt from, like, the skill damage from Scotty, and then you also get the Ignite block from Freyr with the all stats up that he's going to provide for the team as well. But yeah, and then for the rest of the team there, we're running Thonar, obviously, with their Holy Relic. We are running Ultimate Escanor, and then, yeah, we have that as the comp. So, as I explained earlier, we have the healer / DPS, we got Scotty. We have Thonar, obviously, on the team. We have Freyr for Ignite block. And then we got Ultimate Escanor for the big damage, right? So yeah, and then pretty much in terms of the fight here, I'm trying to kind of like push my ultimate here. That's why we're using Thonar cards and just letting them loose. You guys can see that he is about to put up a stance, so I pretty much have to kill this turn. And moving into the second phase so that he doesn't put up the stance, because I'm wasting my stance cards. And then, but yeah, we talked about earlier how Thonar's Holy Relic works, where it gives your team ultimate move gauge as well as the HP related stats. So now my Ultimate Escanor, my Scotty, and my Thonar have ultimates ready. So pretty much every time you use a card with Thonar, it's like a fill gauge card, pretty much. You get like that extra effect on it, which I think is very good. So yeah, right here, I do the Scotty ultimate, I do the Thonar ultimate, I do the AoE with Escanor, and I do the single target with Freyr. And I was like, okay, that's probably gonna kill. And then on the final phase there, we could just one-shot it with Ultimate Escanor's ultimate. So I didn't really see a reason to, like, you know, waste Ultimate Escanor's ult right now. But yeah, so right here we go into the final phase, and then we just drop the ultimate. And that's a good passive too. We talked about that earlier. That is the best passive you can get for floor 1. So the crit damage passive, right? And then right here, I'm like, okay, yeah, Ultimate Escanor ult. Like, what's living, right? And we're already full HP, so I don't have to, like, you know, like, stall for, like, a Scotty ultimate or anything like that. They're all just dead, so Ultimate Escanor is going to be able to do that. I think lower dupe Ultimate Escanor as well on Skoll Hati floor 1 should be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, they did nerf that part of the fight to where there is no damage cap. So before in the older guides, you had to do a little bit more on this phase, but now it's just a lot easier. You just drop an ultimate and then you're pretty much done, man. You move on to the next phase. Alright, so we're loading into the phase 2 now, or floor 2 I should say. And floor 2 is going to be a little bit different than floor 1, Skoll Hati. There is going to be damage cap on the final phase, so it's not going to be just as easy as floor 1 was. Floor 1 was super easy because we didn't really have to do much there. You know, the floor 2 will actually have a very important gimmick, which we will talk about when we get to that part in the fight. So right here, I do the double Scotty card, obviously, and with Holy Relic Scotty, you always want to start with the buff removal card first. I forgot to mention that on the first phase, but that's always like something you got to do with Holy Relic Scotty, just to get the, you know, the extra all stats up by using a card without getting debuffed. So yeah, that's pretty good right there. We do top deck a Thonar. We have a stance removal to a Freyr, so I'm not too worried now. And we can kind of just like cycle ultimates too by pushing with Thonar attacks. If I just do like double Thonar, like I only need to use one card with Escanor to get his ultimate. So I was like, okay, let's do the double Thonar. I think that was gonna be the play. So we do this, and then right there we're gonna have Scotty ultimate, we're gonna have Thonar ultimate, we're gonna have Escanor ultimate. And just like that, it's so easy. Yeah, so the Holy Relic Thonar really made Skoll Hati just like a wash now in terms of like any team you really are using. Patience team, this team, Green Elizabeth team. Like there's just so many teams now that can just easily wipe through Skoll Hati that it doesn't really become much of a problem anymore nowadays. I think it's a lot better now. So yeah. And then right here, he's gonna put up the stance on the black dog right there. So he puts up the stance. Luckily, we do have the stance removal with Freyr. And the good thing about having Freyr and Thonar on the same team is that you have a stance removal with Freyr, or you have one with Thonar if you top deck. So regardless, you're always gonna have a stance removal as long as you're not wasting you know, your Freyr stance removal cards. If you're wasting Thonar's, just hold on to Freyr's and you should be okay. But yeah, right here, I was like, okay, we do the stance removal. I do follow up with Thonar right there, because I was like, okay, we're probably gonna patience if we attack into the defense related up on the actual dog itself, and I wanted to fill gauge and get the HP related proc as well. So that's another HP related proc on the Holy Relic for Thonar. So I was like, okay, we'll get some more lifesteal when I ult into the boss. And then boom, you get the full heal and Thonar's back to full health. So easy, just like that. Super easy, man. And then this phase right here, this is a phase where he does have infect on his cards. He does have a single target which can freeze as well. I think on this phase he wasn't doing the freeze though. Or he might have actually, because he did that's double single target, and then this is gonna be AoE. So either AoE infect or that's a freeze. So it's hard to say. But yeah, like it's not too much of a hassle though, really. If you have Escanor cards on this phase, you can probably one phase it. Which is really good, but I don't get any Escanor single target cards, which is very unfortunate, so we're not able to actually kill this phase that quickly. But we do top deck one right there. Yeah, as you can see, he does like single targets there, and they're just like raw damage, and then that's the AoE right there, which is the infect. So that's probably the hardest part about Skoll Hati is getting infected, especially if he does a rank 2 infect, because then it's like you can't really do much. You really can't. Once he gets that rank 2 infect off, you're sealed on your healing for 2 turns, man, which can become very annoying. And remember, he also does increase his defense as well, which is going to be something to take to definitely take note about. So you know, you definitely want to kind of think about that. I decided, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to ult with Escanor then. So we do the single target, we do the ult with Escanor, and I actually do the fill gauge right there with what's it called, with Thonar. So it does actually work out. So we do the single target. Yeah, and we do damage cap. The ultimate's gonna finish him off. And I probably should have did the Thonar attack before, so I would have got an extra gauge on Escanor. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It still worked out, right? We did actually finish off the phase right there. And then right here, Escanor gets frozen. Remember, if you're on floor 2, phase 2, or phase 3, automatically one of your characters will get frozen if they do not have maximum ultimate move gauge. Just random, by the way. So you can't really manipulate it unless you have maximum ultimate move gauge and have the card set. If you have the card set, it's a lot easier because you can use the card set to kind of manipulate who's gonna get frozen. And you know, it's not the like, okay, so as an example, it doesn't work as like, oh, if I had like ultimate on Skadi here, Thonar and Freyr, that's always gonna freeze Escanor. It doesn't freeze the character that has the lowest gauge, it freezes randomly. So if it procs on Freyr, he won't get frozen because he had ultimate move right there, right? So that's pretty much how that works. But right here, I was like, okay, let's do triple Thonar, because then we can push up a Skadi ultimate. We'll have 3 extra gauge on Escanor, and the following turn, I can push Escanor ultimate. I thought it was going to be not a bad play at all. Remember, you can always use Thonar cards just to get them out of your hand, but also to, you know, push ultimate on your other characters, which is going to be, you know, a very important thing to do. That card right there is 4 gauge reduction. It's crazy. Very, very annoying attack to definitely take. And then right here, we do get the thing. I check to see Thonar's passive, because remember, you can lose, let me go back a little bit. You can lose the attack related up on Thonar, but every third, like whenever it says 3 on her passive, that's going to be when you proc the attack related. On 2, that means you only have to use 1 card. So right here, I know, I'm like, okay, 1 card with Skadi, boom, and I get the attack related up. Escanor can attack now as well. And then we finish off the left dog, and then we can attack into the right dog. So pretty much, if you're running only Skadi and no Ignite blocker, you have to actually kill the right dog. Because the right dog is going to be the one that has the thing. Oh, also, another thing I wanted to mention. I forgot how many attacks it is needed to actually proc this, but I think it is a total of 5 or 6 attacks. Let's actually see here. How much attacks did I do on this first phase? I did 4, right? And then I did, let's see, we did Skadi ultimate. Yeah. So pretty much how it works, guys, is that when you attack into these dogs on floor 2, 5 times, you're actually going to proc a resurrection buff. And this resurrection buff is a gray buff that they only get on floor 2 phase 3. They do not have this on floor 3, so that's good. But pretty much he's going to get this, and then he's going to get a revive. So you have to kind of kill them like quicker than you know, the amount of HP they have, pretty much. Like, that's why you always want to have like a Freyr ultimate, Askin or ultimate, all that stuff ready by this phase, so that you could just kill them as fast as possible. But we barely actually do finish up and kill this this left dog right here, which is good. But yeah, pretty much the way it works is that the left dog is going to be freezing your characters, and then the right dog is going to be the one applying the ignite. So if you're not running you know, Freyr on the team, or like Green Malacula, Scotty's gonna, you're gonna have to kill the right dog first, because he's the one igniting. Even if you get frozen, it's not that bad, because if you have like, if you're running like a Scotty comp, you're probably running Brunhild too, or you're running like another healer, so you can find a way to kind of like heal up your team anyway. But when you're running Freyr, it's a safe bet to just kill the left dog, because then you're completely immune to the ignites and you block all the freezes. So it's a very good strategy, and I think that's gonna definitely be the way to go about it if you are trying to you know, get through the fight here. So yeah, and I like that I took my time through floor 2 here, because I wanted to mainly show the gimmick there with the resurrection and all that. So yeah, and then also obviously like your fight can also be determined like RNG wise too, depending on how the fight goes, right? So it's not completely just, you know, on what happens here. But yeah, okay, so this is a strat right here that I was like, okay, we can definitely get the we're gonna proc the resurrection, but we're able to lifesteal on all my characters now, because we're able to ult with Donar. It's gonna proc the resurrection. We ult with Dusknoir, that's gonna do the damage cap. We're gonna get the lifesteal as well, and then we ult with Freyr, that's gonna be the kill, and we lifesteal with him as well. So that pretty much like what you can do to kind of like negate you losing HP here. And if you don't have like a Scotty ultimate or like a healing character ult, you can pretty much use Donar's Holy Relic, the HP related up, to, you know, force you know, lifesteal onto your characters by doing like ultimates at the very end, kind of cheesing the resurrection right there. So that's gonna be floor 2 right there, guys. Let's move into the floor 3 now. Alright guys, so we're hopping into the floor 3 of the fight now. Floor 3 is pretty much just floor 2, just a lot more difficult. Like that's all it really is. The only thing that this floor does not have is the resurrection buff. So if you think about it, it's technically easier in a sense, but the bosses have more HP, so it's technically not. It is like difficult in the sense of like, okay, you know, they take a lot more, you know, they can take a lot more damage than the other phases, but you don't have to worry about resurrection buffs. You don't have to worry about any of that crazy stuff. You should be okay. And right here, we actually did get a very, very good hand with Ultimate Escanor. Remember, Ultimate Escanor is able to do 30% extra final damage after the fact, which is just a very strong ability, right? Just being able to do that extra 30% on top of the damage cap, which he's already going to do. So right there, I was like, okay, let's do a fill gauge. Let's do a double, I think. Yeah, so I do fill, yeah, okay, so I do buff removal, fill gauge. We do that, and then we do, I think I follow up with another Escanor. Yeah, because I just like want to get the kill. Yeah. So we follow up with Escanor there just to make sure we get the kill. And since Scotty's at 4 gauge here and we use the Donar card, remember Donar's Holy Relic's always going to be giving 1 gauge to the entire team and increase HP related stats. We actually do get Scotty ultimate, and we do get Ultimate Escanor ultimate as well. Ultimate Escanor ultimate. So that's very good. But yeah, so we kill the phase 1. Remember, every second turn he does put up a stance, but because we killed, you know, we didn't have to worry about that. And we do actually top deck right there a thing. Another thing to note as well is that floor 3 on the second phase will randomly freeze you. And you also do get a debuff on your whole team, and it's going to be a random debuff. So one person gets frozen, one person gets ult sealed, another person gets defense related down, and then the final person gets dissolved. So any of those 4 buffs or debuffs you will be getting on phase 2 of floor 3. But these debuffs do disappear when you go into floor 3, so you don't have to worry about them too much. The only one you kind of have to worry about a little bit would be the dissolve, because then if you have a character that has an ultimate already, you probably just want to use the ultimate, because if you don't, then, you know, you're gonna lose it on the next phase. But right here I was kind of thinking like, how much damage am I gonna do? It was enough though, because I do Scotty ultimate. It's pretty much damage cap. Ultimate Escanor's ultimate is damage cap. We follow up with Escanor rank 2, which is gonna be a guaranteed damage cap for sure as well. And then with that extra 30% and attacking with Donar, we actually do finish it off. And one thing to take note as well is, since the debuffs do disappear, if you can kill with the character that has the dissolve on them, they can actually finish with their ultimate as well. And you guys saw the passive we got. That's the damage taken passive. I said that one was the overall best passive, but depending on your team, which is, since I have Scotty on the team, I could have got a better passive, which would have been the all stats one. The character with the highest HP gets a attack down, right? So yeah, so pretty much same thing as before. We're gonna focus down the left dog here because the left dog is the one freezing my team. The right dog is the one that's applying the ignite, so they're like, that one is not really as much of a worry really. You mainly want to focus down the left dog first, and there's no resurrection buff, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. So Freyr's gonna do a pretty good amount of damage right there. Unfortunately, I don't think Escanor kills, but we are very close. Yeah, so he's like pretty much at like no HP. He does get the freeze again on Scotty right there, which is not bad because we have no Scotty cards anyway. But yeah, and then he attacks into Freyr right there. Attacks into Thonar, that's the gauge reduction. Does the AoE. And we pretty much tanked that. Takes my Freyr ultimate gauge too, so you know that can be very annoying. But right here we are able to get the kill onto the left dog right there. I'm gonna also get ultimate Escanor ultimate by doing the setup that we do there. So I was like, okay, you know, we do this. AoE with Escanor should kill. If it doesn't kill, then, you know, that's a very unfortunate. But I was kind of banking on the fact that it would. And because it was a rank 2, we were able to kill the left dog. And now we're not going to be frozen with anyone on our team because the black dog is dead. And so now we just have to focus down the white dog. And remember, there's no resurrection buff on floor 3. So in a sense, it technically is easier. So if you can kill one of the dogs, then the right one is more susceptible to dying. And then you can kind of just like alt control them, and you know, you won't really be able to do a lot of damage to you. As you can see, he did one attack there, right? So if you are alt controlling him, he's only going to be doing one attack, and then, you know, it's pretty much GG. But yeah, right here we drop the ultimate, that's damage cap, we do the single target, and GG. So that is the fight portion of the Skoll Hati guide, guys. Hopefully this was helpful, and I hope you guys learned something throughout this guide. I think it's fairly in-depth, so you should know like a general gist. And you know, because Skoll Hati is farmable now, and Thonar has our holy relic, and we have Nidhogg now, this is definitely something to be you know, maybe putting your time into now, you know what I mean? Because you're able to farm Skoll Hati relics, and a lot of them are very good. So that's something to take into account. So that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.